so we certainly appreciate you being on board with us and all of our sponsors as well. Nate, we're getting ready for a game in which we have a fast-paced team with the Jackson Timberwolves and another team, the Lake Stevens Vikings, as Mark Hayner said, they're averaging 44 points a game. That is correct. Obviously, they want to light it up a little bit more than that. They're a team that's going through a reloading, a rebuilding phase. They've had injuries, so they've got to crank it up themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the most exciting things about college basketball is you get an opportunity to see which team's tempo is going to be played. And like he said in pregame, one coach wants to play up-tempo, one coach wants to play a slower tempo, as you have teams one averaging 70, one averaging 40. And I really enjoy seeing which tempo wins out and why does that tempo win out. Yeah. And usually if you can play your tempo on the road, you have a chance at the end of the game to win.
I think that's a very good point, is tempo is such a key factor. And we did a game the other night. We've been working together quite a bit here on radio and television of late. Do want to check on the Wesco 3A standings too. Everett's on top with a record of 3-1, a very good team. Marysville, Pilchuck, and Stanwood behind them, each 1-2. Then Oak Harbor, followed by Marysville, Getchell. Then in the south, it's Shorecrest on top. Dory Monson's team off to a great start, 4-1 and 9-3. Except when we see him, he doesn't like to see us because they're 0-3 whenever we've done games of his Shorecrest Scots. Mount Lake Terrace 5-2, Glacier Peak 3-2, then Meadowdale followed by Shorewood. And you know what? I think we'll go ahead and get started on the starting lineups a little bit early here right now. And let's take a look at what the starting lineups are for tonight's game between the Lake Stevens Vikings and the Jackson Timberwolves. The head coach of the Lake Stevens Vikings in his 9th season is Randall Edens. First of all, starting at one guard position, a 5'7" junior. That's Cassidy Fifield. Also starting at guard, just a freshman, a 5'6" freshman. That is Kristen Glick. And another guard position, a 5'8" senior, Ivy Jacobson. At forward, a 6'1" junior, Emily Vandergriff. And at forward, a 5'11" senior, Callie Long. So you got Fifield, Glick, Jacobson, Vandergriff, and also Callie Long. And the assistant coaches, Gil McKinney, Steve Berg, Larry Palmer. The junior varsity head coach is Christina Schumacher. Now, taking a look at the starting lineup for the Jackson Timberwolves. First-year head coach, Mark Hayner. First of all, starting at one guard position, a 5'7" junior, Faithleen Lopez Flores. Also starting at guard, a 5'6" senior, Sierra Anderson. Starting at guard, a 5'9" senior, bound for the University of Washington next year, Kelly Kingma. Starting at guard, a 5'7" sophomore, Imari Clinton. And starting at forward is a 5'11" senior, Anna Johnson. So that's Lopez Flores, Anderson, Kingma, Clinton, and Johnson for head coach Mark Hayner. His assistant coaches are Nick Anderson and Walt Antonsich, as well as Sean Smith. So, Nate, we can talk a little bit before they bring those players out on the court, but and the band has quit pounding for a while. It's I'm kind of into brass instruments going with the band, but you know, everybody has their way of doing things.
Well, if this was Mark Ockett High School, I think we would have a different band. Is that right?
Yeah, AC/DC would be playing. Taking a look at the officials, Romeo Escalona, Mo Khan, and Jeff McClellan, a crew we're familiar with.
Now you got to like this. I think they're starting to play We Will Rock You.
They are starting to play We Will Rock You.
You can agree on that one, right?
Yeah, that's right. So that's exactly it. So here we are at Jackson, getting ready for tonight's action between the Lake Stevens Vikings and the Jackson Timberwolves. Again, Jackson coming in with a 4-game winning streak. They got a close 2-point victory over Snohomish last Tuesday. We've got 2 games going on for you this week. First of all, tonight's game that it features Jackson and Lake Stevens. And then that will be coming up on Wednesday night. We'll have the Glacier Peak Grizzlies at the Stanwood Spartans. Mike Buckholtz will join me for that one. Again, Glacier Peak at Stanwood. But in between, boys basketball tomorrow night, and it will be Linwood at Monroe. Tom Lafferty and Bill Kusler, Linwood at Monroe. That is coming up tomorrow night. So the first 3 nights of this week, have it tuned to Fox Sports 1380 for our game tonight. Stanwood at Glacier Peak tomorrow in boys, and Glacier Peak at Stanwood in girls on Wednesday night. So we flip-flop it with that and get our first trip up to Stanwood this year. And we'll be looking forward to that and seeing their great maintenance guy, Raleigh Fingers, up there as well. He looks just like Raleigh Fingers, the Baseball Hall of Famer. gamer. I am not exaggerating. So they're going out there in the white uniforms, the Jackson Timberwolves, and in their black uniforms, the Lake Stevens Vikings. They've got the black uniforms with the purple numbers and letters, kind of the blackout look like the Huskies have, Nate.
Yeah, and let's see if they can play up to the Lady Dog standards, although the Lady Dogs, I believe, lost to your Cougars this year. Is that right?
First time since the Gerald, not Henry Ford administration that the Cougars have swept the Huskies in a season. Goes back to the 75-76 season. The Cougars had lost 36 in a row to the Husky women until last week. They picked up a win, and then they won a couple of nights ago. So
now
as a Coug, I'm pretty happy about that.
Now, do you know what the longest Pac-12 losing streak is since that one has been snapped?
I do not. Do you?
I do. I don't know.
Tell me what it is. But we're going to take a break first, and then we'll come back with play-by-play action between the Jackson Timberwolves and the Lake Stevens Vikings here on Fox Sports 1380.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
Okay. So we have 1 minute. So we are streaming live during the commercial breaks too on STSPN. So there you go. Hello everybody on STSPN as well. So
Tonight's game is being broadcast live on Fox Sports 1380 and SPN.com with Mark Ockpat and Nate Tepp.
how are we looking at time-wise? It was just a... Okay. I'm going to have to go to the glasses with that purple on black. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, getting started with high school basketball action out here at Jackson High School. Lake Stevens wins the tip, but Jackson steals it away on a deflection, and right away it's Sierra Anderson drives in for a basket. 2-0 Timberwolves, just like that, and they do average 70 or 67.4 points per game. How about a steal right there by Kelly Kingma, and suddenly it is 4-0.
And that was a very tough on-ball press there applied by Jackson. Kingma wasn't the primary defender. She was the secondary defender. She was able to reach in there for the steal and get the easy layup.
Tight defense right at midcourt. Sierra Anderson picking it up right there with the ball. Cassidy Fifield. Guarded defensively by Amari Clinton, who's looked good in the games we've seen her so far this year. Into front court they go. They go down low with a pass, and it is a basket for Emily Vandergrift off the assist from Ivy Jacobson, and 4-2. They needed that basket so that Jackson just didn't blast out the gate with a huge lead. So Jackson now sets up half-court offense in front court. Kelly Kingman passes over on the right side. She goes now back over to Sierra Anderson to Kingma, misses a shot off the front of the rim, and the rebound is hauled down by Lake Stevens right away. Here they come out of backcourt very quickly. Fifield over on the right side. Two players over there. Now passes towards the middle. That is Callie Long. Drives in, puts it in for two, and we are tied just like that. 4-4, 6:27 left to go in the first quarter. Pull-up jumper is no good by Clinton, and Lake Stevens will get the board. Here they come out of backcourt. It is Callie Long. Drives to the basket, underhanded scoop shot, no good. Knocked around, knocked out of bounds, and it will be controlled by the Jackson Timberwolves. Make that the Lake Stevens Vikings.
And after that initial burst there with two quick turnovers for Lake Stevens.
They are going to go with Jackson. Okay, that's fine. Go ahead.
After that initial burst there by Lake Stevens where they turn it over on consecutive possessions, pace was going Jackson's way, but since then Lake Stevens has turned the last two possessions into a half-court contest, and they've been able to put up 2 buckets to tie this game early.
Kelly Kingman passes with the basketball into front court. It's deflected around and finally knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Lake Stevens, Faithleen Lopez Flores over there. And then also now coming over to inbound will be Amari Clinton as she gets set to go. Lopez Flores takes the inbounds pass between the circles. Quick dribble, left-handed dribble, nice ball handling right there. Now that's Sierra Anderson over on the left side to Lopez Flores to the 3-ball. It is good. Faithleen Lopez Flores, and she hit 4 of them the last time we were in this gym in the fourth quarter. Big game on December 18th. So it is 7-4. Jackson back up by 3 points. Lopez with her first 3 points of the game. And Kristen Glick, the freshman with the basketball, passes over on the left side, finds Fifield, and it's taken away from her. Kelly Kingma drives into front court, puts it up, no good, but a blocking foul and 2 shots on the way for Kelly, and the first foul of the game.
Yeah, offensively here for Jackson, looks like Lake Stevens is having problems guarding them one-on-one with the ball. They're going to need a lot of help side defense, and especially rotation. 4 players on Jackson on the court right now are all deadly three-point shooters. So if you're going to help, you got to make sure your rotation's there so you don't help and leave a wide-open shooter in the corner, because they have a lot of them as Kingman knocks down the first free throw.
Fifield called for the foul, her first team foul, and Kingman does not hit the second one. It rims out. 3 points for Kelly, and now into front court come the Lake Stevens Vikings. Ball deflected away. Good hand in there that time by Anna Johnson to knock it out and break up the play. It will be Lake Stevens ball.
And offensively, if you're Lake Stevens, your success is when you're able to overcome Jackson's on-ball pressure defense. That's kind of their bread and butter. They swarm the ball, but if you're able to overcome that and get the ball inside, they've had their way so far, just like Cascade did against Jackson in that first matchup we had.
Ball's knocked out of bounds. It will be Lake Stevens ball once again. 5:14, make that 5:19 left here in the first quarter. As Lake Stevens gets set to inbound with the black uniforms on, they go right away. That is Emily Vandergriff missing a shot, getting the rebound. Kelly Kingma blasts out of backcourt over to Clinton. Clinton nearly travels. Now back up top, Anna Johnson. Johnson looking around with the basketball. Passes left side, Clinton. Clinton shut off to Kingma. Kingma with the rock and made a little move right there, but Ivy right on her. Ivy Jacobson with good defense. Now Kingma backs it out between the circles to Johnson. Looking around right side, Kingma. Oh, we got right here. I heard the whistle.
Moving screen.
A moving screen, yes. She kind of stepped a little bit, but that's going to be against Amari Clinton, her first team foul.
First team foul against the Timberwolves.
If Lake Stevens can just settle down and be strong with the basketball, they should be able to stay in this game. Their last possession got a good look in the post. That's where they want to get the ball. The shot just didn't fall, but those are the type of 5-footers you're going to need to make if you want to steal a win on the road in Jackson.
There's a jump shot that's going to come off of the rim. That's a miss for Fifield, and now there's Sierra Anderson getting the rebound. Passes it over on the left side, Clinton. Clinton pull-up jumper, comes off the rim. Rebound quickly pulled down by Vandergriff. They come into front court with it. That is Fifield. Lost a handle, now gets it back. Double dribble is going to be called. That's the 4th turnover against Lake Stevens. It is 8-4 as the Jackson Timberwolves lead Lake Stevens. 4:20 to go in the first quarter.
And that double dribble was caused by the pressure and on-ball defense of Lopez Flores. Lulled the offensive player into forgetting she already used her dribble, needed to do something with her because the ball pressure was too intense, and she unfortunately put it on the ground a second time.
Ball deflected a little bit. Now Anna Johnson gets the basketball over to Kingma, right up between the circle, drives in, tries to drive in on her opponent. That is Jacobson, pulls up with a shot, no good. Clinton gets the rebound, fires it up, bounces off the rim, and a foul on the push-off as that one was coming off the rim, and it's going to be against Jackson. Kelly Kingma called for the foul, her second team foul. And we got a timeout on the floor. Jackson calling a 30-second timeout. We'll take a timeout as well. You are listening to Fox Sports 1380. We'll be back with more Western Conference girls basketball. And again, a special hello to our listeners that are viewing tonight on STSPN.com.
Now, who do you think the Pac-12 streak is?
What is it? I think it's like Oregon State. Welcome back, and want to add there is one more game taking place that we have this week. We actually have 4 in 4 days. Monroe Bearcats at the Jackson Timberwolves right here, a very, very good Jackson team. That will be taking place on Thursday night. So we got them 4 nights in a row. Alternating girls and boys basketball on Fox Sports 1380. Lake Stevens with the basketball coming back, and that is Callie Long with the ball. Now passes right side Fifield, who's been handling the ball quite a bit in this first quarter. Jackson leading 8-4. Fifield, they work it around over on the left side. Pull-up jumper comes off the rim by Ivy Jacobson. Kingma going for the rebound, gets control of it. Boxed out a little bit. And now they're going to call a timeout right away as the head coach, Mark Hainer, saw that Kelly was kind of trapped in there, and he decided to call a timeout. So we'll take a break as well. 3:27 left to go in the first quarter, and our score is 8-4 Jackson. And a special hello to my girlfriend, Debbie, who is viewing us on stspn.com back in Seattle. And Nate, I imagine there's people that are also viewing that you've been able to get the word out on the stream.
Yeah, you never know who's tuning in a given day or night.
Welcome back. We go live once again here. Jackson with the basketball. That is Kelly Kingma into front court to Amari Clinton. They have not made a substitution as of yet. Kingma, 3-ball. Hits it. 6 points for Kelly Kingma. It's up to an 11-4 lead. This is the biggest lead of the game for the Jackson Timberwolves. They got off to a 4-0 start before Lake Stevens came flying back and tied it at 4-4.
I like that play out of the timeout for Jackson. Kingma's last two shots were a little forced, and they were all one-on-one. They were not in the flow of any type of offense. No screens were set, nothing. And this time they run a screen for her, and she's able to flare out, catch, and release rather than have to take 5 or 6 dribbles before she works out her jumper.
Mark Hainer trying to get control of the basketball as it went out of bounds. Looks like he's trying out for the World Cup with his soccer prowess right there. Ivy Jacobson better get it in bounds. Does to Fifield. Fifield picked up now, and they make a substitution. That's the Drew Loughnane, who looked really good here on December 18th in that game against Cascade. Now, good defense forces them to throw it out of bounds, and it will be Jackson ball with 2:44 left in the first quarter, and Jackson leading 11-4.
Lake Stevens having a real tough time with that Jackson on-ball defense. They're guarding the ball handler as soon as they cross half court, and so far Lake Stevens doesn't have a secure ball handler. As you heard pregame, their starting point guard tore her ACL, so they're working with kind of a patchwork crew at the point.
A couple of misses for Jackson, including the last one by Kelly Kingma. Lake Stevens gets the board, goes down the other direction, and it is Emily Vandergriff who pops it in from the left side to make it 11-6. 2:13 left to go in the first quarter. Kingma handling the basketball as she does so often for this Jackson team. Nice to see her back in the lineup after we didn't get to see her the first couple of times. Sierra Anderson misses a long 3-ball, and it is Vandergriff with the rebound. Outlet pass goes over on the right side now to Fifield. Fifield on the left side now to Kristen Glick, the freshman, getting a lot of experience this year, having to have some players step up with several graduating. Drive in, and that's going to be a miss by Callie Long. Getting the board down low is Loughnane to Kingma to Sierra Anderson in front court, nearly traveled, steps into a shot, not going to make it, but she's fouled, got 2 shots coming up. And that will be the second team foul against Lake Stevens. It's both against Fifield. That's her second. And going to the line is Sierra Anderson.
Yeah, and foul trouble could be a problem for Lake Stevens. Looks like they've got a very shallow bench. I see about 3 or 4 healthy bodies on that bench. So
into the game for Lake Stevens, Marissa Walton. She is a freshman. And also coming in is Casey Reichert, a junior. First foul shot is good by Anderson. Next one on the way, also perfect. 4 points for Sierra. It's back to a 7-point lead for the Jackson Timberwolves. 1:39 left to go in the first quarter as Ivy Jacobson gets set to inbound. Goes to Vandergriff. Pressure defense applied, Nate.
Yeah, and that's going to be...
Oh, look at that. There's Kingma with a pick. Going the other way, drives to the basket, and she gets fouled, goes to the floor. The foul is easily going to be on Ivy Jacobson, her first third-team foul, and Kelly will have 2 foul shots. She's already got 6 points in the game, is 1 for 2 from the line.
That's Kingma's third steal at half court. The first 2 led to coast-to-coast layups, and the third one led to a foul here as she converts the first of 2 free throws.
Averages 16.1 points per game, makes the first one, and the second one is coming up. It is good. A lot of net on that. Twine time. And 15-6, 9-point lead.
More importantly, these made free throws by Jackson are allowing them to set up their press, and that press is what got them their steal last time.
Jacobson comes out of backcourt, picked up by Kingma, tied on her. Now there's on the switch, it's Faithleen Lopez Flores as Jacobson backs out toward the midcourt line, looking around. Need to get a little help right there. Shot clock down to 10 seconds. So there we go. There's a steal by Sierra Anderson. Drives the other way. Lay in left side, good. And a push off at the end of it. So she's going to have another shot on top of that. Anderson with 6 points. And the foul indication from Romeo Escalona, that's going to be on Emily Vandergriff, her first 4th team foul. So Sierra's got a chance to make it 3 for 3 from the foul line. She was our Fox Sports 1380 player of the game in the last game that we did between Jackson and Everett back on December 26th at the Snohomish tournament. That's starting to seem like a while ago now. She makes the basket, has 7 points.
Tell you the good news there if you're Lake Stevens is you're on pace to score about as many points as your average. The bad news is Jackson's also on pace to score as many points as they average, and there's a 30-point difference in that one.
Kelly Kingma gets the steal on the inbound pass. They end up firing up a shot. Sierra Anderson misses on it. Jacobson ends up with it. They go the other direction. Drive in left side. Callie Long lay in 2 points.
If you get a stop and a steal with your Lake Stevens and you cut the lead to single digits before the end of the quarter, you got to be happy with how that turned out.
Well, it was up to a 12-point lead. Now it's back to 10 as Faithleen Lopez Flores misses a shot. Anna Johnson gets a rebound. Finally, it's Kingma firing up a 3-ball, misses on that. Lopez Flores gets a rebound. Left side drives in, lay in left, going to come off the rim. And the rebound quickly pulled down by Marissa Walton.
See if Lake Stevens recognizes the time and the situation and holds for the final shot of this quarter here.
18 seconds left in the first quarter. Mark Ockett, Nate Temp with you on Fox Sports 1380. Lake Stevens with the ball into front court. Callie Long, they dish off to, she drives in right side, misses on that shot, and it's going to be a rebound by Anna Johnson. Outlet pass goes to Kingma. 2 seconds, 1 second, long 3-ball, just off the front of the rim, and that'll be the end of the first quarter. Our score at the end of 1 quarter, Jackson 18, Lake Stevens 8. You are listening to Snohomish County Western Conference Basketball. Welcome back here to Jackson High School. Mark Ockett, Nate Tepp. Our in-studio producer is Brandon Hamilton. Our officials, Romeo Escalona, Mo Khan, and Jeff McClellan. Fox Sports 1380 High School Basketball, our first of 4 games this week. Girl, boy, that's how it's going, and we'll tell you about all those coming up. But, God, it's fun. It's like when we opened last season, we had 4 games in 4 days, and I just love how it works out like that, Nate. It's can't get tired of this.
Fun for us, but I have a feeling these teams are getting a little bit tired.
Yeah. So it will be Jackson ball to start the second quarter. They lead 18-8. Thanks for being with us. Kelly Kingma with the basketball, picked up by Jacobson. Now she goes kind of for an alley-oop pass, looking for Faithleen Lopez Flores, and that one's just going to go out of bounds. A bit high that time.
It would have worked if her name was Faithleen Minute Bowl.
That's correct. So true. Lake Stevens to inbound. Some pressure put on by Jackson as Jacobson, who's been handling the ball more of late, will bring it out of back court. We saw Fifield, the ball handler, a lot in that first quarter, but Jacobson now goes to Callie Long up high. Over on the right side finds Reichert. Reichert shut off. Good D right there by Sierra Anderson. Goes inside looking for Callie Long. That comes off her fingertips, and it's just picked off by Loughnane to Kingma. Into front court, right side, Faithleen Lopez Flores with a fake. Now to Kingma. 3-point jumper off the back of the rim. And coming in tight, trying to get the rebound was Loughnane. She banged into a Lake Stevens player. That's who the foul should be on Loughnane. It is. First foul on her, 3rd team foul. 7:22 left in the second quarter, and it is 18-8. Jackson by 10.
You know, and if you're Lake Stevens, this Jackson ball pressure is certainly suffocating you so far, but you're better dribblers than you're exhibiting so far. And if you can just be a little bit more confident and not let Jackson just take the ball from you, exactly how we see here, although she didn't miss the shot there, but the good putback by Lake Stevens.
Kelly Long missed the shot. It was Marissa Walton with the follow. Makes it 18-10. Kingma, jumper, foul line, no. Rebound by Lake Stevens. That is Casey Reichert. Now she'll deliver it to Callie Long. Long's going to bring it out of back court. Goes down right under the basket. Finds Walton, laying good. Oh, nice vision that time. Gets her underneath, and it's a 6-point game. They've trimmed 6 off that 12-point lead for Jackson. Kingma gets the pass over on the left side. Good defense by Jacobson. Back up top to Sierra Anderson. Now there's Kingma. Wide open jumper. Good. 3-pointer. Kelly Kingma with 11, Nate, and she's getting close to her average of 16.
And as a defender, you got to recognize Kelly Kingma is one player that you can't help off of. I'd rather take a contested drive than leave Kelly Kingma wide open for a 3.
Pull-up jumper, Callie Long, 2 points from about 15 on the left side. She's got 6, her first 2 of the quarter. Faithleen Lopez Flores drives in, puts one high off the glass, but she was fouled in the process, so Faithleen will have 2 shots. And the foul is going to be against Reichert. Casey Reichert, her first, and that is the 5th team foul against Lake Stevens. Lopez Flores with 3 points. She hit a 3-ball in the first quarter. Goes to the line with 2 shots. Into the game for Lake Stevens, Kristen Glick, the freshman who started, saw a lot of minutes in that first quarter, replaces Fifield.
And speaking of Lake Stevens, I got word that we have former All-World Mrs. Basketball, Mayor of Lake Stevens, freshman at Boise State, Brooke Pawakoa, listening to us tonight.
Oh, she's listening. Well, hello to Brooke Pawakoa. So often loved listening or watching her play, and her sister Brittany. So go Broncos over there. Hey, hello, Brooke.
And we're not allowed to root in this game, so we can root
No,
for Boise
but,
State, but we can't root for Lake Stevens.
But we can say hi to her over there, so glad to hear that she is listening and on the stream. So there you go. All right, so we have with the basketball, that is Ivy Jacobson now coming into front court. Right baseline, drives in, one-on-one move all the way, almost made that all work, but instead misses on the shot, doesn't quite close it, and there's a push-off as Kelly Kingman was going for the rebound, and the foul is going to be on Ivy. That's going to be her second 6-team foul.
Lake Stevens certainly has the ability to stay in this game, but they've really just got to figure out a way to not get rattled that there's this Jackson ball pressure here. It's really taking them out of their game, and when they're able to stay composed, they're able to get some things done on offense.
Kelly Kingma with another 3-ball. She's hit 3 in the game, 14 points, and it is 26-14, back to a 12-point lead for the Jackson Timberwolves. 5:22 to go here in the second quarter. Jacobson coming out of backcourt, picked up by Clinton. Now goes with the pass right side, Reichert. Reichert loses the ball. It's loose on the floor. Going to have a jump ball coming up. Sierra Anderson tied her up. The arrow will give it and keep it with Lake Stevens.
And you know, Lake Stevens has done a pretty good job so far defensively. A lot of the Jackson points have come off turnovers, and that's not necessarily a fault of your defense, but 2 of the last 3 possessions they've helped off of Kingma and left her wide open for 3, and you should know that's one player, if you're guarding, you can't help off of her.
Inbound pass, Jacobson finds Callie Long. Long with the basketball, goes inside too far, looking for Walton, and it's picked off by Sierra Anderson. Long pass to Clinton. Clinton under the basket, goes right side, Kingma, 3-ball, yes! Wow, Kelly Kingma is 3 for 3 and 3-pointers. That spells a lot of Division I right there. She's going to be playing for the Huskies. And Kelly now has 9 points in the quarter, and she has 17 in the game, and she's hit 4 3-balls overall. Timeout on the floor. We'll take a timeout as well. 4:57 left to go here in the second quarter. Our score, Jackson 29 and Lake Stevens 14. Did Brooke text you herself?
To Twitter.
Oh, it's on Twitter. Cool.
Yeah, I
Did you say hi to her from?
No, I just said if you want to watch them, tune on in.
And so she said she's doing it. Cool. And cool to have our friends on stspn.com too.
We got your logo up on the screen.
We go live once again, and play-by-play action. It's Ivy Jacobson. Passes over on the left side, Callie Long. To the right wing she goes. Kristen Glick back up top, Jacobson. 3-pointer off the right side of the rim. And a new player in, Emily Kipp for Jackson. Gets the rebound. Outlet pass goes to Kelly Kingma. Blasting hard up into front court. Pull-up jumper comes off the rim. Rebound by Clinton. Clinton backs it out. Now passes to Kingma. Nearly intercepted as there was Jacobson who got a hand on it, but it went off Kingma to end things, and therefore it will be a Lake Stevens ball. A 15-point lead for Jackson is their biggest of the game. Coming back in is Emily Vandergriff. She'll replace Marissa Walton, and Cassidy Fifield will give Ivy Jacobson a breather on the bench, and Ivy's played very hard in this first half.
And with that miss on the offensive end there by Kingma, she proves, at least for a moment in time, that she is still human.
That's right. She's hit three-pointers in this quarter. With the ball in front court, Vandergrift passes cross court. Oh, there's Kingma with the long arms. Picks it off. Bounce pass. Sierra Anderson lay in. No, not going to connect. Right there, the trailer. Vandergrift pulls off the rebound. They come into front court. Callie Long drives in. Left-handed lay in. Good. I think actually that was a right-handed lay in. Nice move by Callie Long. She's showing some grace out there. Has 4 points in the quarter, 8 in the game. It's 29-16. 4 minutes exactly in a very fast-paced game here at Jackson High School. Second quarter action. Kingma loses the ball. It's picked up on the floor by Vandergrift. Vandergrift now goes over on the left side. Callie Long finds Glick. Glick will slow it down a little bit. Looking over on the left, she finds Fifield. Fifield picked up by Anderson. Goes down low. Vandergrift lay in left side. Good. Had to use a little board and rim that time, and it's 29-18. So they go on a little 4-point run. Bounce pass down low from Sierra Anderson to Emily Boyd. Boyd drops it in. Nobody on her.
Yeah, and sometimes you're so concerned with the three-point shooting at Jackson, focused on the perimeter, that you forget to look at the interior, and that's exactly what happened there, as Boyd was able to slip in wide open, uncontested.
Lake Stevens with the basketball between the circles. Reichert on the left wing finds Vandergrift. They go, it's picked off by Emily Boyd. Sierra Anderson finds Kingma, left side baseline jumper, air ball over the top. Glick with the rebound, picked up by two Jackson players, Anderson and Clinton. They work it around right side with the basketball. Reichert shut off. Good defense by Lake Stevens, or by Jackson. Glick over on the left to Fifield. Fifield misses the shot, and it is going to be rebounded by Sierra Anderson. Into front court, Kingma. Kingma with a bounce pass right side. Clinton can't hold on to it. Loses the handle. There's Emily Boyd getting a tie-up and jump ball. That's going to be staying with the Jackson Timberwolves.
And if you're Lake Stevens, you got to figure out a way to somehow change the tempo of this game. You're not going to be able to do it for the whole game, but for at least 3 or 4 minutes, you got to figure out a way for both teams to play that half-court inside-out tempo that they were able to hang with it early on, but so far not figuring out a way to slow down Jackson. I think it starts with Kingma. If you can slow her down, see if the other pieces are working, and then start your offense defensively.
Kingma gets the ball off a pass from Anderson. A handoff, really misses a long 3 ball. Anderson gets the rebound to Clinton. Clinton up above the foul line. Anderson, 3-pointer, comes off the rim. Emily Boyd right underneath, puts a shot up, doesn't get a connect, and she is fouled, though. 2 shots for Emily Boyd coming up here, as that will be the, let's see here, team foul number 7 against Lake Stevens. That is on Marissa Walton, her first, and Emily Boyd goes to the line for the first time. Misses the first foul shot. At this point, Jackson is 8 for 10 from the foul line. Next one is good. 9 for 12.
14-point lead for Jackson, 2 minutes to go. If you're Lake Stevens and you can figure out a way to cut it to single digits mentally, that's a big hurdle.
Lake Stevens comes out of backcourt with the basketball. Over on the right side, getting the ball is Reichert. Now back up top, Callie Long, who's had a very strong first half, finds Fifield. 2 minutes to go in the second quarter.
An interesting thing to note here on Lake Stevens offensively, you can tell the players that have had experience when they catch the ball. They get in the triple threat position. They know what they're doing. Players that haven't had much experience, when they catch the ball, you can see they're a little timid with this Jackson ball pressure. So when you have a mix of youth and experience, you can really tell the difference. And it looks like Jackson's really exploiting those freshmen and sophomores when they catch the ball, because you can tell their body language. They're scared of this pressure.
Emily Kipp called for the foul, her first 4th team foul, and an interception on the inbound. Yet another turnover. I have 10 for Lake Stevens and only 5 for Jackson. Kelly Kingman with the ball to Clinton. Clinton between the circles. Backs up a little bit now. Bounce pass over on the left side. Finds Kipp to Sierra Anderson. Loses the dribble, and it's going to go out of bounds. Good defense on her by Fifield. Checking back in for Jackson, Faithleen Lopez-Flores and Anna Johnson, replacing Sierra Anderson and Emily Kipp. We've also still got Kingma out there. Emily Boyd is there. And Amari Clinton. Here's Lake Stevens with the basketball, down 32-18. They've trailed by as much as 15 points in this game at 29-14. Into front court, Callie Long, triple teamed. Nice pumper. Misses on the shot, though, and the rebound by Anna Johnson. Comes out of back court. Tall girl with a high dribble to Kingma. 3 ball off the rim. had a good look. I had the exact same look from this angle, but there is Faithleen Lopez Flores to get the rebound. Now she backs it out some. Now passes left side on to Johnson. Johnson looking around, thinking Kingma. Now goes inside Clinton. Clinton, a little one-on-one move that time. Misses on the shot. Walton with some good defense. Gets the rebound. Triple team. Pass over on the left side to Reichert. Reichert comes up the left side now. It's Callie Long. Just inside the arc. Left side jumper. No. Ball knocked around, and it is going to be controlled by Lake Stevens. Callie Long, Boyd on her. Turnaround jumper. Oh, just rims out. It would have counted. Had it counted, it would have been 2 points and a shot. But instead, it'll be 2 foul shots for Callie Long as she is fouled in the process of shooting that shot. Amari Clinton with the foul, her second 15 foul.
And with 35 on the game clock, 30 on the shot clock, they will get the ball back for another possession. So knock these two down, not get a stop and a score here, and you're back to a 10-point game at halftime.
Callie Long at the foul line makes the first foul shot. Long's first trip to the foul line. In fact, for Lake Stevens, this is their first trip to the foul line with 35 seconds to go in the first half. So Long trying to make it 2 for 2 and get her point total into double figures. She'd rather get a victory out of here tonight than anything. Second one is good. 32-20, 33 seconds left in the first half. Faithleen Lopez Flores to Clinton to Kingma. Kingma outside the arc up high. Anna Johnson pops out. Now coming in is Lopez Flores. Nearly travels. Pull-up jumper inside the line. It is good. Just inside the foul line. 34-20, Nate, and 17 seconds left in the second quarter.
And that was a well-executed and much-needed shot to stem a little bit of momentum here for Lake Stevens, and which is near to a must-score possession here right before half, down 14.
Fifield pull-up jumper bounces out of there. Kingma tries to get the rebound, but it just was off her finger. That was a tough one to get. It will be Lake Stevens' ball with 1.5 on the clock and a 34-20 lead for Jackson. Ivy Jacobson is going to check back in for the Vikings, and coming out of the game will be Kristen Glick, the freshman, as Ivy's going to inbound left baseline, trailing by 14 points.
No one guarding the inbounder. If you do a double screen, you can sneak her in for a layup, but they opt for the three.
Yeah, they do, and it would have counted. Callie Long just a little bit short on that one, going for the three ball. And at halftime, Jackson leads Lake Stevens by a score of 34-20. Nate and I will return to talk about the first half. We'll also have statistics from the first half here on Fox Sports 1380. Again, our score at the half, Jackson 34, Lake Stevens 20. You are listening to Snohomish County Western Conference basketball on Fox Sports 1380. Okay, good. I just need to get my stat board from her from the first half. Just for the first half. Come get it at the start of the second half, okay? You know her? Hey, do you know her name? Mention it on. McKenna, cool. Did you do it? She didn't do it last time, yeah. All right, Nate, we'll just go over some things here. Yeah. Todd.
Yeah. Oh, I got your logo up there.
What I'm doing is, is that, I can't hear you.
Has your logo on the screen.
And again, a special hi to our viewers and listeners on STSPN throughout the area. Holly West could be viewing us down in Covington. That could very well be the case. Brooke Kawakoa is over in Boise. Debbie Larson is in Seattle. We got all the bases covered here, Nate.
Coast to coast.
That's right. That's right. We may have people out on the East Coast, too. Thanks for being with us. Brandon, how much? Okay. Welcome back. We're here at halftime. Jackson leads Lake Stevens in girls basketball on Fox Sports 1380, 34-20 with 7:40 to go until we start the second half, and the Jackson drum corps is having their way over there and making some great noise and sounds here in the gymnasium and doing a good job in sync over there. You know what's interesting, Nate, is that we were talking about what these teams average, and Jackson averages 67.4 points per game, and they're almost exactly at that right now at 34 points. And then Lake Stevens averages 44 points a game. They're just slightly below that at 20. So things kind of playing out like we thought that they would.
Yeah, Lake Stevens is going to have to figure out something defensively to change the pace of this game, whether it's mixing up their defenses, maybe going a combo. You know, you got to switch up your looks. You got to switch zone and man. Maybe run 2-3 for 1 or 2 possessions, then a 1-3-1 for 1 or 2 possessions, then switch back to man for 1 or 2 possessions. You really got to keep Jackson guessing. Take 10 seconds that takes 10 seconds off Jackson's offense for them to recognize what defense you're in and what offensive set they need to play. And anything that they can do to slow down this pace is going to be an advantage for them to get back in this ball game. Because offensively, they're doing, you know, what they like to do in terms of the output that they get per game. But defensively, they're going to have to figure out some things to confuse Jackson.
All right, so you were telling me, I don't think we've gone down this path yet, but who's got the longest streak in the Pac-12 of being defeated by another team? Is this the women's teams?
What's the women's team? Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
So the previous was Washington over Washington State.
Right, 36 in a row.
And now the don't worry, your Cougars are still number 1.
Oh, no.
Because it is now Stanford over Washington State.
Oh, Stanford over Washington State. Yeah, I could see that. Now, here's some great trivia that our sports director, Tom Lafferty, has just passed along to me, that when Washington State University last swept the Huskies back in the 75-76 season, color announcer Bill Kusler's sister, Janet Kusler, who for years has run Kusler's Pharmacy and Gifts in Snohomish, played for the Washington State University Cougars, and they won those 2 games to sweep back in 75-76. So it kind of is in the family around here as to how that went. Janet was a great basketball player. Many of you, I'm sure, are familiar with her in the 70s, playing for the Cougars, and she actually held a lot of records. I think that she might still hold 1 or 2 to this day.
Now, is she going to then attend the rubber match this year to try and watch,
That's right.
watch the streak get broken?
Well, I'll tell you what, it's been a long one, and I'm glad it's over. So we're going to take a break and then come back with more here on Fox Sports 1380. Our score is Jackson 34, Lake Stevens 20. More on the way.
I'd like to welcome our STSBN visitors. STSBN brought to you by many fine establishments in Snohomish. You see why we have the radio guys call it? Because they sound good. Like to do a little shout out to Scott. I know you're listening, Scott. Give me a call tomorrow morning. We'll set up tomorrow night's game.
Okay. We are live here at Jackson High School. Mark Ockett along with Nate Tepp And our score is Jackson 34, Lake Stevens 20. Taking a look at the statistics from the first half, Callie Long led Lake Stevens with 10 points. Emily Vandergrift with 6 and 4 for Marissa Walton. That's just it. 3 scores for Lake Stevens. Callie doing a great job, averages 12 points per game. Just a couple of points away from that. They did not attempt any foul shots in the first quarter, 2 for 2 in the second quarter, and I have them for 11 turnovers in the game. Foul-wise, they did commit 7. There's a couple of players with 2 fouls for them, Cassie Fifield and also Ivy Jacobson. As far as rebounding is concerned, Lake Stevens Vikings were able to assess 12 rebounds in that first half. Marissa Walton had 4, 2 offensive, 2 defensive. Emily Vandergrift with 3 rebounds. Kristen Glick with 2 assists. Casey Reichart with 2 assists for them as well. For the Jackson Timberwolves, Kelly Kingma with 17 points. She hit 4 3 balls, 1 in the first quarter and 3 back-to-back in the second quarter. So 17 points for her. She's 3 for 4 from the foul line. Sierra Anderson with 7 points all in the first quarter, 3 for 3 from the line. Faithleen Lopez Flores with a total of 7 points, 2 for 2 from the line. Emily Boyd coming in that second quarter with a total of 4 points. Jackson Timberwolves are 9 for 11 from the foul line, and they have a total of 6 turnovers in fouls. Amari Clinton leads them in that department with 2 fouls. Now in rebounding, they had 13 in that first half. Clinton with 3 of them, 2 for Drew Loughnane. Kelly Kingma with 5 steals in the first half. Sierra Anderson with 4 assists. As things spelling out that way number-wise. Why don't we take a quick break? We'll come back with the second half between the Jackson Timberwolves and the Lake Stevens Vikings. Jackson leading 34-20 here on Fox Sports 1380. Snohomish County Western Conference girls basketball. All right, just a 60 would be good here. Okay, perfect. Everything's okay. And I'm just saying hi to that. We're carrying the feed tonight. You don't need to share it with Tom knows, but that's just you and I and Tom, okay? Okay.
You noticed how I said she's listening in, not watching.
Right, exactly. Perfect.
Wasn't accidental.
Welcome back as we get set to go for the third quarter. Jackson leading 34-20 on Fox Sports 1380. Mark Ockett along with Nate Tepp. Brandon Hamilton is our in-studio producer. Now Lake Stevens will go from our right to left in their black uniforms, and Jackson going from left to right in their white uniforms. Here at Jackson High, Jackson trying to win their 5th game in a row. Inbound pass goes to Emily Vandergrift. Vandergrift goes over on the left side. That's Ivy Jacobson. Jacobson with the basketball to Callie Long up high, playing with 10 points in the game and no fouls actually. Goes over on the right side, Vandergrift. 3 players around her. Softly tosses one in. 8 points for her, and it's 34-22. And Nate, Lake Stevens has to do stuff like that to come out strong. However, Amari Clinton has other ideas as she banks one off the glass.
On the other end, that was a great entry pass by Lake Stevens. Great job by the offensive player, keeping the ball above her head so the Jackson players couldn't swipe at it, just pivoted and stuck a tough little 5-footer off the glass.
Ball was knocked away, stolen, and now poked away towards Sierra Anderson by a Lake Stevens player, and 2 points for her as she lays it in off the right side. It is up to a 16-point lead for Jackson, their biggest lead of the game, 38-22, 7:02 left to go in the third quarter. Down low, Callie Long takes a pass and misses a shot. Nice look that time by Kristen Glick, but Long couldn't finish it. Kelly Kingma goes down low inside to Sierra Anderson, lays it in off the glass right side. It is now an 18-point lead, 40-22. Jackson up by the 18, Ivy Jacobson with the basketball, guarded by Amari Clinton. Clinton is just a sophomore. Jacobson is a senior, handling the ball a lot here more now. Passes over left side, Glick. Glick to Callie Long. Long guarded by Sierra Anderson. Underhanded toss on a pass to Vandergrift, loses a handle on it, goes with the pass left side to Glick. Glick misses the shot. Kelly Kingman with the rebound, bursts out of backcourt with the bounce pass left side. She finds Faithleen Lopez Flores, and Faithleen lays it in. 20-point lead. 42-22, still putting the pressure defense on, Nate. 6:02 left to go in the third quarter.
Yeah, this press is really it's given them fits from the beginning as you have a little bit too much hand contact there by Jackson in the backcourt.
Foul is on Anna Johnson, her first. That's the first team foul for either team in the second half. Lake Stevens will inbound, cross court from us, midcourt, with the basketball Fifield. Fifield shut off by a couple on the trap at near midcourt, and finally stolen away. Good defense by Sierra Anderson and Clinton. Right side pass to Kelly Kingma, wide open, has one rim out. There's Anna Johnson underneath the basket, gets a rebound, misses a shot. Faithleen Lopez Flores gets a pass from Johnson and puts it in. 44-22.
Lake Stevens having a lot of trouble with this press. One reason is they're picking up so we have another foul here by Jackson.
A 10-2 run for Jackson to start this third quarter. The foul is on Kelly Kingma, her second team foul.
Lake Stevens on this press here. As soon as they get across half court, they're getting in the corner and they're picking up their dribble. That's what's known as the coffin corner. The reason why it's called the coffin corner is you've got the half court line that is basically another defender because you can't cross that. You've got the out of bounds line there that is also basically another defender. So you're basically quadruple teamed if you're double teamed right there when you pick up your dribble with the two out of bounds lines there, and that's exactly where they're picking up their dribble on this press, and it's playing right into Jackson's hands. You cannot pick up your dribble or even catch the ball into that area because Jackson's going to make you pay.
On a previous inbounds pass, Kingma bumped into a player and got called for the foul, her third. Now a steal, and there's Kingma missing a shot, and she has 3 fouls on her. Want to keep track of that. 3 for the team, too. None for Lake Stevens. Down low, Vandergrift makes a lay-in off the dish from Fifield. Vandergrift with 4 in the quarter, 10 in the game, and it's 44-24. Still a mountain to climb for Lake Stevens. They're down by 20. Kingma, pull-up jumper, right side, good, and she has 19 in the game. That's her first 2 of the third quarter, and it's up to a 22-point lead. They aren't letting up at all on the defense. Lake Stevens breaks it. There's Vandergrift, drives in, puts one too hard off the backboard and rim. Ball on the floor, loose, and now picked up by Anna Johnson to Sierra Anderson. Anderson out into front court to Clinton. Clinton pull-up jumper left side, comes off the right side of the rim, knocked out of bounds. Kingman got a hand on it, and it will be Lake Stevens basketball. As re-entering for Jackson will be Drew Locknane, and also in is Marissa Walton. Callie Long is going to have a seat on the bench for Lake Stevens, and departing is Anna Johnson for Jackson.
You know, and one thing to note about Lake Stevens, regardless of the score or the pace of the game, and this speaks to the head coach, both the quality of the coach and the respect that the players have for the coaches, the effort hasn't changed from the tip, and Lake Stevens is going to play 110% pretty much every possession, and they're not taking any possessions off, and they're not getting, bad body language or a bad attitude or anything, and that just speaks to the great program that they have there, and you know that they're going to be back on top sometime soon. 46-24
is the score. We also have McKenna helping us with statistics tonight. We appreciate that, as she's doing a good job here at the school. I usually hire someone to help with some of our extra stats, and she did a real good job in that first half. And Lake Stevens has the ball. Now it comes loose, jump ball it looks like, and that's going to go to Jackson. 46-24, 4:04 left to go in the third quarter. It's been Jackson's game for quite some time now, as Lake Stevens got it closer when it was in single digits. And in front court, the Jackson Timberwolves. Sierra Anderson with the ball to Kingma. Kingma up fakes, now drives in, dumps one down low to Clinton. What great eyes she has to find her, as Clinton puts it in off the left side on the glass. And it's a double score now, 48-24, a 24-point lead for the Jackson Timberwolves. In the front court comes Lake Stevens. The Vikings down low. Vandergrift, turnaround jumper, good. Off a nice dish that time from Reichert. So Vandergrift has doubled her point total from the first half. 6 in this half, 12 in the game, Nate.
She's been a bright spot for Lake Stevens here. She's really a tough player to handle. She's double, triple teamed every possession, and she stays poised and doesn't get her shot blocked and gets a good attempt up every time. And really strong player for Lake Stevens.
A missed shot on the Lake Stevens end by Kelly Kingma. Now it's stolen away as Jackson will get it back. Clinton gets it down low on a pass from Loughnane, but Clinton had to try to get control of the ball and get her feet set, and she traveled. So a turnover against the Timberwolves. Substitution, Kelly Kingma's going to have a seat on the bench, and coming into the game will be Faithleen Lopez Flores. Also entering for the Lake Stevens Vikings will be sophomore Emma Smith. Smith will replace Glick, the freshman. Lake Stevens inbounds. 3:02 to go in the third quarter, and a 22-point lead for Jackson. Jump ball on the other end. That's going to go to Jackson as both, it was Marissa Walton and Sierra Anderson tying up. Now they've changed their call. It's going to be Lake Stevens ball. Set to inbound, Ivy Jacobson. Passes over on the right side. Who's got the rock? That's Haley Wilson, who's into the game for Lake Stevens. Stolen away, knocked away. It'll be Emily Kipp gets the basketball. They come into front court. Lopez Flores went with a pass on the right wing to Sierra Anderson, and Anderson could not hold on to it. Goes out of bounds. And games can get a little bit out of sync right here, too, with that big lead, Nate, as the intensity level switches around some. And yeah, you don't want it to carry over to the next game either.
No, and also that the pace that Jackson plays sometimes, especially when the score is out of hand, it can kind of turn the game into a pickup style game.
Jacobson throws it away. It's picked off. Jackson gets it, and then they toss it away. It was going to be a nice intent that time by Lopez Flores as she was going to Sierra Anderson, but Sierra couldn't quite hold on to it. Goes out of bounds, and it's going to be Jacobson who will inbound. Randall Eden's being told to back up over towards the coach's box there. We see that from time to time.
Saw that on Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, so I was just thinking that after that play that turned into being a touchdown after the review yesterday. What a matchup we have coming Sunday. We'll talk about that here in a bit.
Reminds me of another trivia question here.
All right, down low with the basketball. Haley Wilson goes for the basket, misses but does get fouled. She's got 2 shots heading her way. That's on Sierra Anderson, her first, 4th team foul. She goes to the line. What do you got for us?
Okay, here's a tough one for you. Which member of our broadcast team printed out his NFC Championship tickets this morning?
Oh, I know it's not Brandon producing back at the station. I know it's not our Director of Transportation and Food Services, Nettie, who's sitting behind us. It's not me. It would be nice. It would have to be you.
And
you
that's
lucky dog.
That's a winner, Mark Ockett. You win a souvenir program.
Hey, that would be something. I'll put an order in for that. 48-27. She makes the second one. Haley Wilson does. It's 2:02 to go in the quarter. There's a jump shot. Miss by Kipp. Fight for the rebound. It's on the floor. I tell you, Ivy Jacobson's been playing hard throughout the game. Another jump ball. Good hustle on both sides right there. A 48-27 lead for Jackson. Kelly Kingma is set to check back in. She will replace Sierra Anderson, who was our player of the game last time we saw Jackson. Inbound pass, Clinton. Faithleen Lopez Flores. Air ball over the top of the rim. Getting the rebound is Kipp to Kingma. Jumper left side, no. Comes off the rim, and it is going to be grabbed. Jackson misses on a follow-up by Loughnane, and then they still keep it alive. Clinton misses a shot. Kingma going after it. She's pushed off on. Over on that side is Wilson. So you're going to the big game on Sunday. Now, unlike this last Sunday when you had to race back and join me for Bellevue College TV action, you have a little more time to work with on both ends there. There's Kelly Kingma getting the inbound pass, puts up a shot, misses on that, and she is fouled.
I've got the opposite problem. At the Saturday's game, I had to work right after the game. But for Sunday's game, I have to work before the game.
Now, in that instance, we'll go there because it is basketball related. The foul this time is going to be on Ivy Jacobson, her 3rd, and that is the 2nd team foul. Kelly Kingma at the line with 2 shots, connects on the first one, has 20 points in the game. Departing will be Ivy Jacobson, and re-entering the lineup is going to be Cassidy Fifield. Kingma's just had a beautiful game out there, fantastic performance, and I'd say she's our leading candidate for the Skagit State Bank Player of the Game. So I know that you have something big coming up this weekend over there at Seattle Pacific University.
Well, actually, it got changed from Seattle Pacific. The MLK Hoop Fest is now over at a familiar gym of yours over at Bellevue College.
Oh, okay. Very good. Very good. Ball is knocked out of bounds, and it will be Jackson basketball. We did that game last year. Jackson played against Bellevue, and that was quite a game.
We had
50-27 is the score, and then that packed house.
We had Garfield Franklin as well. We had Rainier Beach and Bothell, I believe, as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was amazing. That place was so hot. It was absolutely incredible, and there were so many people. We had to take off. It was just so hot in there. Maybe they put in some fans. Travel here is going to be called against the Jackson Timberwolves. They lead 50-27. 1:08 left to go in the third quarter. So why did it move from Royal Brome Pavilion to Bellevue College? How did that happen?
I've got the details there, and I will share them with you off the air.
Okay. We will wait till after everything's done tonight to hear that. Okay. But it was fun there last year with our Fox Sports 1380 broadcast. We will be at the ShoWare Center on Monday, so we're going to do a MLK Junior Day game, but it will be at the ShoWare Center. I'll give you details on that later on in the broadcast. Lake Stevens with the basketball in front court. Here they come, bouncing it around. That's Fifield with the ball. Now passes over towards the middle. New player in, Emma Smith. Smith with a left-handed dribble. Under a minute to go in the third quarter. Ball goes out of bounds. Last touched by Jackson, and it's pretty much been in this pattern with the big lead. Jackson led by 14 at halftime, and then had built it up to 24-point lead and been cruising since that time. Inbound pass goes from Smith to Wilson. Wilson lays it up and in, and she's got a foul shot coming her way as she was fouled in the process of shooting.
Defensive intensity remains high for Jackson, and that's not an attempt to rub in the score or expand on the lead. That's just the only way that they know how to play defense is swarming. And one of the things I think that's underrated in sports.
Wilson misses the foul shot, but coming through with the follow is Marissa Walton to make it 50-31. And Lake Stevens gets it back on a block the other side. Don't go anywhere yet. Less than 30 seconds to go. We'll get back to Nate in a second, but the action intensifies here as Lake Stevens with the basketball. Passing over on the right side. Casey Reichert. Reichert goes to Marissa Walton. Walton over on the right wing, and it's Kingma coming through to try to steal.
Looks like she stole it, but
stepped out of bounds. Yeah, she had the right idea, but her 1 foot was out of bounds. And we'll get set once again with Emma Smith inbounding over on the right baseline. Here she goes. Now we'll be able to find Reichert. Reichert to Wilson. 8 seconds left in the quarter. Emma Smith, 3-ball, not going to go. Rebound by Anderson. Anderson's coming out of backcourt. Faithfully Lopez Flores down low right side. Misses on the shot. Came on the follow and couldn't quite get it to drop as the buzzer goes off here at the end of the third quarter. And our score, Jackson 50, Lake Stevens 31. You are listening to girls basketball action on Fox Sports 1380. Snohomish County Western Conference basketball. Share that story with me once we're fully off. Hello once again to our listeners on STSPN.com. We thank you very much for being a part of our broadcast tonight, wherever you may be. Mark Ockett with Nate Tepp, Brandon Hamilton, our in-studio producer, and Todd at the controls here. 50-31 is our score as Lake Stevens takes it into the fourth quarter with a 19-point lead. We will have the selection of the Fox Sports 1380 Player of the Game, sponsored by Skagit State Bank with T-shirts from Screen Printing Northwest. I'd say right now, top candidate hands down is Kelly Kingma, who has 21 points. She had a total of 8 in the first quarter, 9 in the second quarter, 4 in the third quarter, and it's all the other things she does too. She had 5 steals in the first half.
And pretty much every one of her steals led to a made basket as well.
Yeah, you're right.
Points off turnovers is a key component, especially if you want to win in conference.
Callie Long goes in on the left baseline, got blocked out. Emily Boyd tight on her. I do believe that's where the foul's going to be, and it will. That will be the 6th team foul against Jackson. her second.
She had position there, but just bad footwork. If you're trying to stop someone baseline, stick 1 foot out of bounds, and they can't go around you out of bounds, and just stand your ground, and they're going to either have to go through you or go out of bounds. But she didn't have her footwork quite there.
Missed shot by Jacobson. Anderson with the ball now. Goes to Kingma. 3-ball. Yes. That's 5 3-pointers for Kelly Kingma. 24 points in the game and a Jackson steal. Lopez Flores misses a shot after the steal. Lake Stevens gets the rebound. That's Glick. Glick leaves it back now for Vandergriff. Vandergriff into front court. Jacobson. Jacobson shut off. Bounce pass. Well, she lost it. It's Kingma with the basketball. Goes ahead to Sierra Anderson, who puts it in. Anderson with 6.5, 13 in the game, and it is 55-31, back to a 24-point lead for the Jackson Timberwolves with 7:10 to go in the fourth quarter.
And if you're Lake Stevens, as their coach said to us early on, as they're kind of in the middle between reloading and rebuilding, is they have a lot of talent there, but they're not quite at the rebuilt level. These are some key minutes here that are really going to help you both at the end of the year and especially next year when you have to face the same kind of pressure, and these same players are a year older, a year more composed, and they've been there already. So you can learn a lot about yourself in this game, and it might not pay dividends tonight, but it will during the course that they're in this program.
Sierra Anderson called for a foul on a shot missed by Callie Long, but Long connects on the first foul shot. She's 3 for 3 from the line and has 11 points in the game for Anderson. Her second foul, 7th team foul, just 2 team fouls for Lake Stevens in the second half. They got up to 7 fouls committed in the first half. 7:03 to go in the fourth quarter. Next shot, good rotation on that one, connects on it to make it 55-33. Less than 7 minutes to go. Kingma with the basketball to Lopez Flores, to Kingma. Fifield, the freshman guarding her. That's great experience guarding a player of Kelly Kingma's caliber, being a freshman. We're going to see Fifield for quite some time. Oh, excuse me, she's the junior. The freshman is Glick. Rebound off a Jackson miss, and it's going to be Lake Stevens coming into front court. Fifield misses on the shot, comes loose, and it's going to be rebounded by Kelly Kingma. Kingma doing everything tonight. Passes down low to Sierra Anderson. Lays it up and in. 15 points for her in the game. She averages 15.7 and is 57-33, back to a 24-point lead for Jackson.
And as Kingma maneuvered on that fast break, one thing that you could tell, sign of a true point guard, is her head never looked down. Her head never wavered. She dribbled between 3 or 4 defenders, but her head stayed up to try and find an open cutting offensive player, and she was able to find her for a layup.
Emily Boyd will check out of the game, and Cassandra Jackson checks in for the first time. Cassandra is a sophomore, and she's got some good body size out there. She can block out very well. It's stolen away. Yet another turnover. 18 turnovers for Lake Stevens. There's Lopez Flores missing a shot. Callie Long gets the rebound, comes out of backcourt. She's a pretty good multi-purpose player. Got to watch out for Kingma coming from behind. Doesn't have a chance. She tries to pass. It's swatted away. Kingma ends up with it down low over to Sierra Anderson. Faithling Lopez Flores. She travel? She did. Basket went in, but she did take some steps. 57-33. 5:42 to go in the fourth quarter, and this pretty much looks like Jackson's game, where they would win their 5th in a row and improve to 9-2 overall and 5-1 in conference play. Kingma deflects the ball. Another steal for her to Anderson. Down low, misses a shot. Popped around. Fifield gets the basketball. Stolen away by Lopez Flores, and Faith Blaine drops it in on the right side. 59-33. Biggest lead of the game for Jackson, 26 points. And Lake Stevens loses it on the other end. Clinton gets it to Kingma. Lay in, left side, no good. Follows with their own rebound and pops it in from the right side and has 26 points. We have a timeout on the floor. 61-33 as Jackson leads by 28 points. We'll be back with more. 5:09 left to go here on Fox Sports 1380, Snohomish County Western Conference girls basketball. Just got to take care of something here.
Once again, tonight's game is being broadcast live on Fox Sports 1380 and STSPN.com. Calling tonight's action is Mark Hockett and Nate Tepp. Tune in to Fox Sports 1380 and STSPN.com for the best in basketball coverage all
We are here at Jackson High School. Thanks for being on board with us here tonight. 61-33 is our score. Jackson up by 28 points, their biggest lead of the game against Lake Stevens with 5:09 left to go in the fourth quarter. Lake Stevens will have the basketball. So Lake Stevens inbounds, and still pressure defense, Nate. Jackson isn't letting up at all, even with that big lead. Down to 5 minutes left to go here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, you thought maybe that timeout was to change up the strategy and the intensity and kind of change the tempo, but I'm not really sure where
we can ask
the meaning
Mark
behind that
going.
timeout was there, as you've still got a majority of starters in and pressing.
Faithleen Lopez Flores with just her first foul. That's the 8th team foul. It's 1-1 for Fifield on the other end. Yeah, the only non-starter out there for Jackson is Cassandra Jackson, who came in just a couple of minutes ago. Otherwise, everybody else started the game. The only player that started that isn't out there is Anna Johnson. Missed foul shot by Fifield. They play a little bit of volleyball down low, and it's finally knocked out of bounds off the 1-1 that time.
Kelly Kingma did depart after that timeout, and you got to think she's done for the night.
Oh, yeah, I do see Kingma is not out there. That's right. It looks like her, though. A lot like her. We're going to get the name of that. It's I think, a JV player they brought in. Down low with the missed shot is Walton. Boy, I tell you, look from the distance, and that's number 12 and has the same length hair and everything as Kelly. Plays a little bit different, though. Sierra Anderson hitting a 3-ball, and now she has 7 in the quarter and 18 in the game. Big night for her as well. 64-33, a 31-point lead for Jackson. Lake Stevens in front court. It's stolen away. Great hands again by Lopez Flores. In the front court, Anderson. Anderson jammed down low, loses the ball, and it's going to be grabbed by Lake Stevens. Blasting out of backcourt quickly is Glick. Glick misses a shot. Vikings get the rebound. That's Haley Wilson with the board and a nice reverse move. Lay-in. That looked really sweet, coming in from the left side and way down underneath and popped it in. So we'll keep it right here. 64-35 is the score. Want to let you know what's coming up with these games for us this week. Of course, we have tonight's game, Lake Stevens at Jackson girls basketball. Then tomorrow night is Linwood at Monroe. And then coming up the next night, and then tomorrow night's boys, so that is, Linwood at Monroe. That will be coming up at 6:55, and the tip-off at 7:15. And then Wednesday, Glacier Peak at Stanwood. That's girls basketball, Mike Buckholtz and myself. Then on Thursday, boys, Monroe Bearcats at the Jackson Timberwolves. So again, a change there for tomorrow, Linwood at Monroe boys basketball. Lots of stuff. And then on Martin Luther King Day, Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday, the holiday, on Monday, Arlington Eagles take on the Newport Knights at the Shower Center. We saw Newport last year, and that is in boys basketball. We did that doubleheader to close out the season last year.
That was
not the season, but the last regional or play-in game. Yeah, it was a play-in game. The regional then started here. Jackson with the basketball. Into front court now. We got to get the name of that new player in. I think they may have her on the roster. That looks like Kaylee Werner. Kaylee Werner is in for Kingma. Lay-in is good. Faithfully, Lopez Flores hits another basket, 66-35. 31-point lead. It's been as big as 30. This is it, 31 right now. Ball knocked away. Jackson gets control of it. Lopez Flores to Loughnane in front court. A dribble, a shot, a miss. Deflected back outward as Lopez Flores gets the basketball. And the jumper on the right wing is good. 2 points that time for the new player in, Kaylee Warner, a sophomore. So she gets some action. Lake Stevens bringing the ball out of backcourt.
Pretty much everything here is automatic except for the final score.
That's true. A missed shot by the Vikings as Jackson will get the basketball. They work it out of backcourt. Now, long jumper by Loughnane. That was in there but came out, and it's knocked out of bounds with 2:51 to go in the fourth quarter. And coming into the game will be Casey Reichert. Reichert is replacing Cassidy Fifield. Jackson ball. Now Warner will inbound.
The fun part about these last couple minutes here is you get a majority of players on both teams who typically don't get a lot of minutes. So it's nice to watch them have their moment and get their points when it's not typically at least especially in the fourth quarter when they're in the ball game.
Another ball thrown away, 25 turnovers for Lake Stevens. Loughnane made a basket on the other end for Jackson. They're going the other way. Lopez Flores misses a shot, gets the rebound, puts it back up, missed the second one, and Lake Stevens keeps it alive, keeps it from going out of bounds. In the front court now, Casey Reichert. I'm going to go ahead and say Kelly Kingma is our Skagit State Bank player of the game. We'll get her on in the postgame show, get her a T-shirt. And I know someday that'll be around the University of Washington campus. She'll be wearing that, right?
Oh, absolutely. Maybe you're on picture day.
That's right. So there you go. Lake Stevens misses a shot. Jackson goes the other way. Amari Clinton with 6 points and a half. And it is now 72-35. Their biggest lead of the game, 37 points. Rene Pedroza takes off for the evening as he's been scouting this game for his Cascade Bruins. Jackson in the front court, 1:40 to go in the fourth quarter and in the ball game.
Jackson looking to pull it out here and take a little clock off.
So Werner with the basketball. The sophomore bounce pass now. Faithleen Lopez Flores connects on a shot. Boy, she's had a great second half with 10 points and 17 in the game. 74-35, up to a 39-point lead, and a big one. Obviously, Jackson going to win their 5th game in a row. We'll also talk to Mark Hayner, the head basketball coach of the Jackson Timberwolves after the game. We'll take a quick break, I believe. Oh, pass inside, and a made shot by Marissa Walton. She's also got a foul shot coming up. The foul is going to be on Warner, her first 9th team foul. 1:06 left to go here in the fourth quarter. Post-game show sponsored by Cascade Valley Hospital. Close to home, close to heart, Cascade Valley Hospital post-game show. Shot is good, so she makes it a 3-point play. 9 in the game. Mari Clinton comes out of backcourt. 1 minute exactly left in the fourth quarter. Passes over on the right side, Emily Kipp. She finds Warner. Warner on the right baseline. Pumps it up, works it around. Clinton with the basketball. Inside the arc. Now right side, Loughnane. And Lougnane's going to go to Jackson. Well, they got 7 on the shot clock. Not that it really matters with the game the way it is. Ball stripped away. Haley Wilson drives the other way, puts the shot up. No good. Warner's going to be called for the foul, and 37 seconds left as Wilson will go to the foul line where she is 1 for 3. So, Nate, you and I will be back in action here soon. You got the tournament there at BC, Bellevue College, coming up on Sunday, then the Seahawks game. I mean, how exciting is that going to be? You were there on Saturday and saw them win 23-15 over the Saints, and now it's Seahawks and 49ers. And this
the rubber
is one,
match.
Yeah, this is one you just live for games like this. I know I do. I can't wait.
Yeah, you know, I wanted
makes the second shot.
I knew an easier road would have been the Panthers, but I wanted the Niners to come back to town. You know, Rick, what did Ric Flair say best? To be the man, you got to beat the man.
That's right. There you go. Clinton misses his shot. So that's right. I mean, it's going to be huge. And, of course, we will be broadcasting, Mike and I, on Wednesday night from Stanwood.
And hopefully that punches my ticket to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and that will not make you available for the February 3rd game.
That's correct.
And you know what? That'd be something. Shot is a miss by Wilson. And again, Lake Stevens gets the rebound, stolen away, knocked out of bounds, and the clock will wind down. That is the ball game. Our final score is Lake Stevens losing to Jackson 74-39. Jackson 74, Lake Stevens 39. Our final score is we will have the presentation of the Fox Sports 1380 Player of the Game, sponsored by Skagit State Bank. We'll get Kelly Kingma and Mark Hayner up here as soon as possible. Why don't we take a quick break, and we'll come back with the post-game show sponsored by Cascade Valley Hospital. Stay tuned. We'll be talking to Kelly and Mark right after this.